Hello everyone. Welcome back to another Commander review for Magic the Gathering. Today we are starting our unhinged set review of cards, of Commanders per se, and we are starting off with a banger. Today is Frankie Peanuts. I'm going to try and keep these videos as short as possible because, spoiler alert, all of the silver border cards are banned in Commander, so check with your play group beforehand. We'll talk more about that in the rulings, but Frankie Peanuts is a legendary elephant rogue. It's a 2/3, and it costs 4 mana, 2 generic and 2 white. And then it has 1 triggered ability. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may ask target player a yes or no question. If you do, that player answers the question truthfully and abides by that answer if able until end of turn. And of course, you'll know that it's truthful because they will abide by it. They are held to that ruling by Frankie Peanuts. So really cool, very Godfather-esque of this card. Here are the rulings. Obviously, first of all, this card is banned because it is silver bordered. I will still probably be playing with some of the cards because I think they are fun. They will make for definitely memorable experiences at the table, but they are banned. So check with your play group beforehand that it's okay to play with this card. There are 2 card rulings for this commander. First one is if you're the player answering the yes or no question, you must abide by your answer if able. For example, if you are asked, is the slaying mantis is the slaying mantis you control going to attack on your next turn? If you say yes, then it must attack if able. However, if it's tapped as you declare attackers that turn, then you aren't able to attack with it and you don't have to abide by your answer. So again, answer the question truthfully and live up to that truth as best as you can. If you are unable to do something, then you are unable to do it. But that doesn't mean that you did not have the right intentions, or you didn't have the right intentions, because there is many ways to answer questions and then get around that. Let me read the other rule before I explain. Frankie Peanuts hates snitches, but he detests unsporting conduct. Keep your questions appropriate for your game and its surroundings, which I think is very funny. I don't know, the wording of that rule seems like, man, people were saying some pretty terrible things at the table or something. I'm not sure what, but my goodness, be appropriate, people. Anyway, so going back to the first rule, with this question as the example, is the slaying mantis you control going to attack on your next turn? If you answer yes, then you need to attack with it on your turn. However, if you have some way of tapping the slaying mantis, like crewing a vehicle, or having it be able to tap for mana because of an enchantment or something, some way of tapping it, so then you know you're not going to, then I think that can bypass the rules, because I think that can. Let me know in the comments below. I imagine that if you have some shenanigan of crewing a vehicle or something with it, then you can bypass that rule. Maybe because of how it's worded, you're not you're not able to tap it. Maybe you have to attack with it if you are able to. So maybe it becoming tapped is because of something else happening by out of your control. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. It's kind of a weird political quandary for the game. And then sticking right along theme with asking questions and like working with your opponent in some weird way, I kind of got this vibes of like group hug shenanigans with this commander is how you might want to play with it. So the card I chose to synergize with Frankie Peanuts is the Wedding Ring. Partner up with an opponent and be able to manipulate only 2 of the other opponents at the table, or manipulate your betrothed, as it were, and take advantage of Frankie Peanuts' questionnaires by doing group hug shenanigans. And then 3 different deck ideas. First of all, the deck that I'm going to be building around is going to have a lot of uncards. It's going to be a lot of silver bordered cards. This deck is just going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very silly, and it's just going to be here to make for a memorable experience for the playgroup. So, not really good at anything, but it is going to be fun. And then a deck. This isn't a popular deck idea on EDH Rec because unfortunately they don't have any of the silver bordered cards on EDH Rec for some reason, and I don't know why that is. I assume it's just because they're banned, but I don't know. If this were to be on EDH Rec, I would imagine it could be a group hug commander. So obviously mono white group hug, you can have some fun with it and do some cool things. And then lastly, what was this one? Oh, this was like opponent's choice, dealer's choice, difficult choices, whatever you want to call this archetype. But this is like a deck that's themed around your opponents making tough decisions. And I thought this would be fun to do because it's in mono white, and that's very difficult to do. And I don't think it's fully possible right now based on what exists in mono white's repertoire as far as like difficult choices and stuff like that. But I think this could be a very interesting idea, maybe not with Frankie Peanuts as the commander, but maybe with a different legal commander. Trying to make this deck where your opponents have to make difficult choices, and you're kind of like playing. Typically, you'd see this archetype in like Grixis or Red, maybe like Rakdos even. But seeing it in mono white would be absolutely insane. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this deck idea. This is like a difficult choices. Any player can do anything, but they like have to pay mana for it and stuff like that. Very, very interesting idea. And that's going to do it for Frankie Peanuts. Obviously, silver bordered cards are banned, but I think this would be fun, and you can have a lot of interesting interactions at the table with this commander. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As always, the ranking of silver bordered cards are going to be F just because they are banned. And because they're banned, there's like no deck ideas online for them unless you like go deep diving in different areas and stuff like that. You could build mono white elephants around it, mono white rogues around it. You could do any of the 3 different deck ideas I talked about here, but then beyond that, like, there's not a whole lot to go off of, unfortunately. So, Frankie Peanuts, really cool card, and I can't wait to talk about the rest of the unhinged cards. I think we only have 2 more, so we might do everything in this single recording. We'll find out. But thanks again, guys. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything I missed or didn't talk about. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!